The question is what choice? Run, hide, plead for mercy, scatter your forces. You give way to an enemy this evil with this much power, and you condemn the galaxy to an eternity of submission. The time to fight is now!
Hi, little girl? Hi, Rebel Commander here, been serving for the Rebellion for 10 years. What gives you the right, or what makes you think that coming in here and spatting about hope that we would fucking listen to you? Who the fuck are you? Where did you come from? Did you really think, oh, my father built the Death Star, everyone's going to listen to me, ha ha ha! Fuck you and fuck you for plagiarizing someone else's line. You could give two shits about the Rebellion about 2 minutes ago. What gives you the fucking right to come in here and... Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Released in 2016 and is directed by Gareth Edwards, who's directed such films like Monsters and that Godzilla movie from 2014. You know, the one that was starring everyone but Godzilla. The film stars Felicity Jones, Diego Luna, Ben Mendelsohn, Danny Yen, Mads Mikkelsen, Alan Tudyk, Yang Wen, and Forrest Whitaker. And this is episode 91 of Caleb Watches Movies. We are heading towards episode 100. We are almost there. And today we are talking about a movie that I think is widely overrated. This one takes the crown for being overrated. I remember leading up to this movie, there were some talks that Tony Gilbert was being brought in to do a lot of reshooting actually a ton of the movie, almost making it not Gareth Edwards' movie at all. But still, people were still saying that this is gonna be a great Star Wars film. And then when we got the early releases, people were saying, oh my god, this is the best Star Wars film that has ever existed. Some even called it better than the original Star Wars, which... What? That was my reaction before I saw this movie. And then after I saw this movie, my reaction was, what? People liked this movie? Okay. Jyn Erso is the daughter of Galen Erso, who is a famous scientist and is behind the construction of the famous Death Star. And this film takes place a couple of days before the events of the original Star Wars film happens. And it shows the journey of Jyn sneaking into the Empire's strongholds and stealing the plans to destroy the Death Star. So I remember being a kid back in 1999 when Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace came out, and I remember being so excited about that movie. When I came out of the theater, I was thinking this movie was awesome. There were so many lightsaber fights. There was so much action going on. This was an awesome Star Wars movie. And it had never crossed my mind when I was growing up, but there is like a Star Wars googly eye visor that comes down over fanboys' eyes whenever a new Star Wars film comes out, I think. Just a visor that comes down that makes us think that, oh my god, this is Star Wars. It's amazing. Because we love this universe. We love these characters. We love the lore of Star Wars. So seeing any new film on screen that has to do with Star Wars, you know, 2 thumbs way up. And especially back then when we waited like 20 or 25 years for a new Star Wars film. Then we waited another 10 years for this new reign to come through. But just after seeing this film and seeing all the positive reviews from it, I'm thinking that, yeah, there are Star Wars googly eyes that some people just can't see past. Because this film has a lot of problems, and I'm just shocked that everyone is very forgiving about this film, and they're not so forgiving on other, like, mainstream blockbusters that have some issues. The main gripe that I have with this film are the characters. Who are these people? And more importantly, why should I care? I think that was what's so frustrating about this film. It started with a beautiful prologue sequence. That setting where they were, the black farming lands, oh my god, I could see the entire film shot here. And then that crappy text from like a bad iMovie comes on the screen and I'm going, oh boy. Not saying that there's anything wrong with the iMovie text, but come on, it's Star Wars. You have a lot of money. But going through this 2 hour, I believe it's like 2 hours and 20 minutes, I really have no character development or any character background on any of these people. So if I don't know who these people are and we get to that tragic ending at the end, I'm just feeling empty and feeling, why should I care? Why do I care about any of this? In the prologue, Jyn Erso is a little girl. She goes into hiding, and then Forrest Whitaker comes in and saves her. The title screen pops up, and then it's like 10 or 15 years later, whatever, I don't know, I can't remember. I'm sure someone in the comments will correct me. And then when we see adult Jyn Erso, she's a prisoner on this Empire transitional bus thing, and I'm going, oh, okay, well, maybe she's a rebel and she got caught or something. Come to find out that, oh no, she was just captured for something, because she was doing something, and she's not a rebel, she actually kind of hates the rebellion, doesn't want to be a part of it in any way, shape, or form, but somehow through all of the story in this film, she becomes, you know, very hopeful from the rebellion and wants to destroy the Empire. So that's the main disappointment from this movie for me, and our main character, Jyn Erso, our lead character, and I couldn't give two shits about her. And then that brings me to the performance of Ben Mendelsohn. I feel like he's a really cool person, like in real life. I have not liked a single thing he has done. He is over the top in everything, I think. And he's kind of over the top here. Yes, I'm feeling the disdain towards Grand Moff Tarkin, which actually kind of freaked me out seeing, by the way. CGI Grand Moff Tarkin on screen. Cool idea in theory, execution, little scary. Then we have this strange, quirky pilot dude who keeps referring to himself as the pilot and everyone else refers to him as the pilot. And it got really annoying really fast. And plus, I'm pretty sure he's violated by this weird tentacle anime creature that if he like inserts its tentacles in all of your orifices, he can read your mind. It's just a bit, I don't know. I don't know where that came from. And then Forrest Whitaker is here. Yes, I guess he had some falling out with Jyn. I don't know. We didn't see anything. And I think that is the frustrating thing about the Star Wars universe now. There are so many, like, backstories out there, novels, video games, comic books, that are all canon. They're not just one-offs or Elseworld stories. Everything that's coming out is all canon in the current Star Wars universe. So when it skips from the beginning when Jyn was a little girl to now when she's an adult, there's, like, 20 or 15 years there of history that we did not see and were not told about. And don't you dare say to me that, well, yeah, it was talked about in a book. You should read the book. When I go into a film, I'm paying my hard-earned money to see a complete story. Don't tell me that I have to do like a couple of weeks of research before I go see the film. I go to the movies to escape, to be entertained, to escape from the real world for a couple of hours. Don't tell me that I need to do research before I go see the movie. I shouldn't have to. The audience shouldn't have to. Now I feel like I'm just rambling on and venting about my frustrations that I have with this movie. I need to be a little bit more critical because there are aspects of this film that I think are wonderful and fantastic. Bullet point number one, the visual effects. Oh my god, they are gorgeous here. I feel like everything is real. The X-Wing fights, that whole final battle in the last 30 minutes, just mind-blowing. The original Star Wars is a masterpiece for what it is, but the visual effects back then, yes, they still hold up now, but they don't even hold a candle to what we see here. And I like seeing a different take on a Star Wars movie where it's a military film and we don't have, you know, to culminate in a big lightsaber duel. Well, I guess we kind of do. And getting to that point, it is kind of cool to see Vader appear here and hear James Earl Jones's voice again. See that badass final scene that he has? That was really cool. You see, it was cool, but thanks to my friend Jerry Dennis, now it doesn't make sense to me. Walking out of the theater, I was like, that last 2 minutes with Vader, that was awesome. That made the entire film worth it. And then he says to me, well, that was the thing that he had the biggest problem with because Vader was very powerful in that scene. Why wasn't he so powerful in the beginning of A New Hope? And I went, God damn it, Jerry. One of the few rings I was clinging on with this film and you just swiped it away. But I also love Danny Yen's character in this film. He plays a Force-sensitive blind man, and I just think that's such a cool concept to have. He lets the Force guide him throughout his life, traveling from place to place, from situation to situation, from person to person, all thanks to the Force. I am one with the Force is with me. His character was one of the few that I could get behind. And as the film kept going, I'm like, why aren't we getting a Danny Yen movie? I would rather watch his character than anyone else in this film. But sadly, those are really the only aspects that I'm holding on to. Nothing else here is sticking with me, and I think a lot of people are kind of blind to the fact that this film is not perfect, and it's not done well. At least from a story aspect, which to me, story is the most important thing that you need in a movie. And it's just disappointing to me that the writers kind of neutered their original ending with this film, where a lot of characters kind of survived and then went about their daily lives when it was all done. But if you know Star Wars lore, and this is the story about the rebels gaining the Death Star plans and getting it away from Darth Vader and the Emperor, you kind of know that it's going to be a tragic ending. And they only made that change really late in the game with reshoots. Really? You weren't originally going to do that? Come on. Guys, in the end, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, for me is very disappointing. And looking at all the positive reactions that this film has garnered, it's way overrated. I went into it expecting a masterpiece, probably the greatest Star Wars film that has ever come out. This is nowhere close. I'd probably watch Phantom Menace over this one over and over again. Yeah, this one would be down towards the bottom for me. The number one important thing for me in a film is story, and we don't have one here, at least when it comes to character development. I have no idea who these people are, and I have no idea why I should care about them. And if you're gonna build up to a tragic ending where a lot of these characters are gonna meet their doom, I feel like I should care about them. But they all have their roles to play, they fill them, and then sayonara. And I could care less. However, this Star Wars film has probably the best visual effects that I've seen in any of them. The visual effects are seamless. They are gorgeous. They feel real. Yes, there are some really cool things to see. Some cool little nuggets that they put in there from other Star Wars films. Hey, remember this line? Or, hey, remember that little story or that little comment that was mentioned in the first film? Well, now it's explained here. And I just go, okay, I don't care. I would also prefer that one of these newer Star Wars films please explain to me why I should hate the Empire. Yes, in the other movies, they portray the Emperor, Darth Vader, as being evil villains, extinguishing the Jedi, killing younglings. But in this film, I mean, these characters aren't associated with the Jedi Order, they're not associated with the Old Republic or things like that, so I'm just trying to get into their mindset and thinking, well, why is the Empire such a bad thing? Why do we want to take down the Empire? Please, someone explain that to me. Don't just tell me we need to take down the Empire. You gotta show me something. You gotta show me something why I would want the Empire to be brought down. That's basically my comment for this whole thing. You gotta show me something to care, and you're not showing me anything. Guys, look, if you watch this movie and you're entertained by it, if you love this movie, awesome. Good for you. That's the great thing about movie reviewing and movie criticism. You can have several different people with several different viewpoints. That's the amazing thing about going to the movies. The way you perceive movies, the way you perceive art, it's a reflection of yourself. And I am all for one with self-expression. This is my movie review channel. This is my opinion. You could definitely disagree with me. That is fine. All the more power to you. I couldn't get behind this movie. So I'm going to give Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, 2 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I've had better.
Alright everyone, we are moving right along with our journey to episode 100 and beyond series, and next time we are going to be talking about a movie that I feel is vastly underrated. I have a couple that I could pick from, but when we're going with underrated films, this one definitely underrated, did not do well at the box office, deserves a sequel like crazy, and it's just a fantastic action film. The best use of 3D that I have ever seen. Judgment Time. Boom! There's your hint for that one. So, have you seen Rogue One, A Star Wars Story? What did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this video, please comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And when you're done commenting, please like and subscribe to my channel so you know the next time I'm posting my next movie review. So everyone, I will see you next time with a movie that I think is underrated. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.